Hello there, Ray here, and today I will be explaining how you can break bedrock with ender crystals. I showed that this is possible in my sandstorm explanation video, but with 1.9 update being about the end, I postponed showing anything that could be changed during the snapshot process. Now that 1.9 has been released, I will be showing two ways to break bedrock with ender crystals and how this can be used in 1.9 as well as in 1.8. The way that the ender crystal breaks bedrock and other blocks is when the ender crystal sets a fire block inside of its entity box. You can see this when you place a block underneath of the ender crystal. Here the fire block is set inside the ender crystal. Now if any block is placed in the same area where the fire block is, this will replace the block and place the fire block in its place. The ender crystal only places a fire block in the end dimension. So this bedrock breaking method only works in the end. There are two methods I use to break bedrock with ender crystals: indirect bedrock breaking and direct bedrock breaking. The way to break bedrock indirectly with ender crystals is by positioning the ender crystals in a location where once a structure is generated, it will be placed inside the ender crystal's fire blocks and therefore will replace the block. When most structures are generated, they will replace an area with their own blocks. But with ender crystals, they are entities and they are not deleted. This makes the indirect bedrock breaking method useful for breaking bedrock in tight places. The way to break bedrock directly with ender crystals is by moving the ender crystal into the block that you want to break. By moving the ender crystal, you also move the flame block, allowing the ender crystal's flame block to destroy the block that you want. This is similar to breaking bedrock with pistons, where it can be done directly as well as indirectly. There are links in the description to both piston methods. The 5 main places where you can use these methods are the exit end portal, the entrance gateway portal, the exit gateway portal, the bedrock on the obsidian pillar, and the obsidian platform. Now we will look at each structure and see what methods and versions work best. When removing bedrock from the exit end portal in 1.9, you can only use the direct method because the exit end portal structure is already in place when you enter into the end dimension. I came up with a really simple way to directly break bedrock. All you need is one obsidian block, one ender crystal, one piston, and one power source. So all you have to do is place down your obsidian, place your ender crystal on it, remove your obsidian, put your block and have your piston above it. Now you just need your power source and you can push the ender crystal and its fire block into the bedrock, and this will cause it to replace the bedrock with the flame block. This method works in any direction as long as the blocks behind the bedrock block that you're breaking, so these 6 blocks here, do not collide with the ender crystal when pushed in. So let's say if you're trying to break this bedrock here, and this bedrock piece over here is going to collide with the ender crystal when it's pushed in. So the way this works is that it only works in the west and north direction if this is a case where there's a block back here which would prevent it from moving forward. So since this is in the west direction, it works. With this method, it's possible to remove all the bedrock from the exit end portal if you want to. In 1.8, you can use the indirect method. To do this, you would have to move the ender dragon into unloaded chunks. Then you'd have to move the ender crystals from the top of the obsidian pillars down to a location where you plan to kill the ender dragon. Once you are ready, you would have to bring the ender dragon back in, kill the ender dragon over top of the ender crystals, and that way, when the exit end portal is generated, it is replaced by the flames of the ender crystals. This would be difficult, but would be possible. When converting from 1.8 to 1.9 worlds, you can easily do the indirect method. This is because the exit end portal will be generated in a known location. I'll talk about this more in a later video. The next structure is the entrance gateway portal, which is generated after killing the ender dragon. You can use the direct method to easily remove most of the bedrock from the entrance gateway portal, but since ender crystals are entities, they can get teleported by the entrance gateway portal. One way to prevent the entrance gateway portal from teleporting your ender crystals away through the entrance gateway portal, you can have the entrance gateway portal be occupied by teleporting other entities through it, and therefore it will be too busy to be teleporting the ender crystal through. Another way to do this is by using the indirect method. Since the generation of the entrance gateway portal is known and is predictable, you can just place these ender crystals beforehand and then generate this structure. The exit gateway portal is a portal that you end up at after you enter the entrance gateway portal. It's just like the entrance gateway portal, but if you want to break it indirectly, you first have to travel out to this location without using the portal. Then once you have set up your ender crystals in this portal's location, you have to then go to the main island and then come through the entrance gateway portal, and then it will generate this exit gateway portal out here. And then from there it will remove the bedrock as you need. If you are going to use the indirect method for the exit gateway portal, just make sure that you do not leave any blocks behind in the area where it will generate. Otherwise, the structure will never generate and you'll just be without a portal. The next structure is the Obsidian Pillar Bedrock, which regenerates with every new respawn of the Dre game. You can remove this bedrock with both directly and indirect methods, but it doesn't provide much advantages. I'll talk more about this in a later video. The Obsidian Platform is the last main structure that I use the Ender Crystals fire replacing feature for. The easiest way to do this is just come in, remove the bedrock, and then place in your Ender Crystal. Now anytime you enter the end, it will keep that block removed. I use this in 1.9 so that when you enter the end with a player, it will not destroy some of the obsidian blocks. I also use this in 1.8 for my sand generator, the Sandstorm. Not only can this mechanic easily remove bedrock and obsidian, but it can also remove any type of block. And here are some other interesting blocks that it can remove, such as chests, furnaces, protection signs, droppers and dispensers, beacons, and also your brewing stands, barrier blocks, and here's the end portal and as well as command blocks. Using some trickery, I made this reusable block destroyer that can destroy any block that has a short collision box or no collision box that is not flammable. The way it works is that it has the ender crystal be pushed down so that its flame block is placed down onto this block. And I just pushed it just enough so that it puts its flame block down here, even though the majority of the ender crystal is up high. And you can actually place blocks underneath this that are shorter than one block, and the ender crystal will just destroy it. To reset it, we just push the ender crystal up a little bit, and now you can place in your chest again. And this makes a renewable way to break chests so that all your items come out at once. The way to build this is just to come in here, place a piston, place in your obsidian, place your ender crystal on top of it, remove that block, place in a trapdoor here. Then up here we just want to place in another piston. Now we want to push the ender crystal up. Now we can remove the trapdoor, and now we can push the ender crystal back down. Now it's all ready to be used. There you have it, guys. 2 ways to use the ender crystal to break bedrock, and some interesting things that you can use it for. If you found this interesting, show me a like. If you would like to see more quirky mechanics in Minecraft, subscribe, and don't forget to comment. Bye!